My people, come and sit down well. Oh. Adjust your wrapper. Put your phone on speaker, because the story I'm about to tell you today will make you laugh until you forget your name. This is the story of Mama Kobiko, the woman whose mouth was faster than a racing car and whose legs never knew the word rest.
Listen, in the village of Amakom, there lived this woman called Mama Kobiko. This woman. If trouble was a person with 2 legs and a wrapper, it would be Mama Kobiko. Every morning, I said every morning, before the cock even cleared his throat to crow, this woman would already be fully dressed, her wrapper tied tight, her slippers ready, looking like a soldier preparing for battle. But what battle? The battle of other people's business. Her husband, Papa Kobiko, was a peaceful man, too peaceful self. Every morning he would wake up, stretch his hand to touch his wife, and bam, empty space. The woman was gone, vanished like Houdini. Papa Kobiko would just sigh, shake his head, and say to himself, Jesus Christ, this woman again? Doesn't she ever sleep? Is she a human being or a bat? But you see, Mama Kobiko didn't have time for sleep. Sleep is for people who don't want to know what Mama Daisy cooked for dinner or what color of pants Brother Emeka hung on the clothesline. Sleep, ke? That one is for the weak. Now, let me tell you about Mama Kobiko's special powers. This woman had ears like satellite dish. I'm not joking, If you whispered something 3 streets away, her ears would start tingling like she received a text message. She would stop whatever she was doing, cooking, washing, even bathing self, and her legs would carry her to that place faster than Usain Bolt. And when she got there, she would press her ear against your door, your window, your wall, even your fence. She didn't care. She must hear the gist. One bright Tuesday morning, I remember it was Tuesday because that was market day, Mama Kobiko woke up with special energy. She looked at the sky and said, today is going to be a good day for fresh gist. She quickly took her bath, tied her best wrapper, put on her special slippers, the ones she called her gossip slippers because they didn't make noise when she was sneaking around, and off she went. First up, her own son's house. Yes, so even her own son was not safe. Now, her son Kobiko had just married this beautiful girl called Adanma. Fine girl, proper yellow purple. The kind of girl that when she walks, men forget they have wives at home. So this morning, Mama Kobiko tiptoed to their window. She heard Kobiko say to his wife, Adana, my darling, my mother is coming to visit us today. Please prepare something nice for her. Simple conversation, Abi. But wait, Adana sighed, that kind of long, tired sigh, and said, your mother comes here every single day. Can't we have just one day to ourselves? Yesterday she said my soup was too salty. Last week she said my housekeeping was poor. The week before she said my wrapper was too short. I'm tired of that woman. If you had seen Mama Kobiko's face at that moment, her eyes became red like danger sign. Her nose started flaring like angry bull. Smoke was practically coming out of her ears. She didn't even wait to hear what her son would reply. She just turned around and ran to the village square where all the women were gathering to buy vegetables. When she reached the market, she was panting like someone who had seen a ghost. Women of Amakom, she announced, holding her chest dramatically. Sit down, all of you. Let me tell you what I just discovered. The women all gathered around her like flies around ripe mango. What happened, Mama Kobiko? They asked with their eyes wide like torchlight. Mama Kobiko looked left, looked right, bent down like she was sharing a top secret, and whispered loudly. Yes, whispered loudly, because her whisper was like other people's shout. That girl my son married, that Adana, she wants to kill me. What? The women screamed. Some nearly fell down, some held their chests, some just fainted on the spot. Well, they didn't faint, but you understand. Yes, so, Mama Kobiko continued, warming up to her story. I heard her with my own 2 ears. She says she is tired of me. She said I'm disturbing her marriage. She says she wants to put poison in my food to finish me. She even says she's going to grind the poison with pepper so I won't taste it. My own son married a witch, a killer, a murderer in lipstick.
Now, let me tell you what happened. By the time it was 12 noon, the whole village had heard the story. But the story had grown bigger. Some people said Adana had already bought the poison from a herbalist in the next village. Others said she had tried to poison Mama Kobiko 3 times already, but it didn't work because Mama Kobiko's head was too hard. Another group said Adana was not just planning to kill Mama Kobiko. She wanted to kill the whole family and inherit everything. The story was flying around like a chicken with its head cut off. Poor Adana. She went to the market to buy tomatoes that afternoon, and women were running away from her like she had leprosy. Abomination, witch, murderer, they were shouting. Adana was so confused. What did I do? Why are people running from me? But nobody would tell her. They just kept running and shouting, Tufiakwa, God forbid bad thing. When Kobiko came back from the farm that evening, his father, Papa Kobiko, was waiting at the door with a big stick, the kind they used to chase thieves. My son, Papa Kobiko shouted, are you a man or are you a goat? Your wife wants to kill your mother and you are just there doing nothing. What kind of husband are you? When I was your age, if my wife even raised her voice at my mother, I would deal with her. But you are there watching that girl plan murder.
Papa, what are you talking about? What murder? What poison? Kobiko was so confused. His head was spinning like ceiling fan. His father explained everything, and Kobiko couldn't believe his ears. That night, their house became a war zone. Adana was crying, I didn't say I want to poison anybody. I just said your mother visits too much. Kobiko was shouting, the whole village is talking about it. Plates were breaking, pots were flying. The goat in the compound was so scared it stopped eating. And where was Mama Kobiko during all this chaos? That woman was hiding behind their fence with her ear pressed against the wall, listening to every word and smiling like someone watching a Nollywood movie. She was even eating popcorn. I'm joking. She wasn't eating popcorn, but she might as well have been. But wait though, the story is just starting. Because the next morning, Mama Kobiko woke up even earlier. Yesterday was good, she said to herself while tying her wrapper, but today must be sweeter. She rubbed her hands together like a fly planning wickedness, wore her gossip slippers and zoomed out. This time, she went to Baba Nkechi's compound. Baba Nkechi was a palm wine tapper, good man, honest man, loved his wife Mama Nkechi very much. They were the kind of couple that made other people jealous, always laughing together, always holding hands, always sharing everything. But Mama Kobiko said to herself, this their happiness is too much. Let me add small pepper to their soup.
She crept to their window and heard Baba Nkechi telling his wife, my dear, I'm going to the next village today to see my friend. His name is Okoro. We used to tap palm wine together before he moved. I'll be back by evening. Simple conversation, Abi. Mama Nkechi even said, okay, greet him for me. Bring me something nice when you are coming back. They were both laughing and happy. But Mama Kobiko's brain started working overtime. You could almost see smoke coming from her head as her brain was calculating what lie to tell. She ran like marathon runner straight to Mama Nkechi's best friend, Mama Ego, who was frying akara at the roadside. Mama Ego, she screamed, breathing like someone being chased by masquerade. I have urgent news, emergency news, breaking news. Mama Ego turned off her fire immediately. You know, when news is sweet, even akara can wait. What is it, Mama Kobiko? You look like you've seen a ghost. Mama Kobiko bent down, held Mama Ego's hand, and said with tears in her eyes, fake tears, the kind Nollywood actresses cry, it's your friend, Mama Nkechi. That woman is about to lose her husband. What? How?
Baba Nkechi is cheating on her with not one woman, with 3 women in the next village. Jesus Christ of Nazareth, how do you know? I heard him myself. He told his wife he's going to see a man called Okoro. But we all know there's no Okoro. It's a code name. Okoro is actually a woman, a rich woman with big buttocks and long Brazilian hair. He's been seeing her for 6 months now, and that's not all. He has 2 other girlfriends in that village. One is a young girl of 25, yellow like Popo. The other one is a widow with plenty money, and I heard, and she paused for dramatic effect, I heard he has a secret child with one of them. Yes, so a bouncing baby boy. The child even looks like him. Same big head, same bow legs. Ha ha ha. Mama Ego's mouth was hanging open like an empty basket. Ah, poor Mama Nkechi, and she trusts that man so much. She even cooks special food for him every day. That's why I always say, never trust a man who smiles too much. Ha ha ha. By afternoon, the story had spread to every corner of Amakom. But now the story was even bigger. People were saying Baba Nkechi had 5 girlfriends. Some said he had 3 secret children. Others said he was planning to sell his house and run away with the rich widow. One person even said he saw Baba Nkechi buying a wedding ring for the young yellow girl. The lies were piling up like yam in a barn.
When Baba Nkechi came back that evening, carrying a bunch of ripe plantains for his wife, because he was a good husband like that, Mama Nkechi was waiting for him at the door with a pot of pepper soup. Hot, boiling pepper soup. "You useless man," she screamed. "You cheating dog, you lying goat." And she poured the pepper soup on the ground near his feet. Not on him, just near him, because deep down, she still loved him. Ha ha. "Mama Nkechi, what is wrong with you? Why are you pouring my pepper soup?" "Your pepper soup? Your pepper soup? Go and ask your 5 girlfriends to cook pepper soup for you. Ask the yellow pawpaw girl. Ask the rich widow. Ask the mother of your 3 secret children." What girlfriends? What children? What widow? Mama Nkechi, have you gone mad? I went to see my friend Okoro. He's a man, male human being, with beard and mustache and deep voice. We tapped palm wine together and talked about our youth. What is all this nonsense you are saying? But Mama Nkechi was not hearing word. She started throwing his things outside. His clothes, his tapping tools, his favorite pillow, his radio, everything. "Get out of my house. Go and live with your girlfriend. I don't want to see your cheating face again." Poor Baba Nkechi had to sleep under the big mango tree that night. Mosquitoes were biting him, ants were crawling on him, dogs were barking at him, and in the middle of the night, around 2 a.m., guess who passed by that mango tree? Mama Kobiko. Yes, so that woman was still on patrol at 2 a.m. like a night security guard. She saw Baba Nkechi under the tree, smiled to herself and went home satisfied. Ha ha ha.
Now let me tell you, this thing continued though. Day after day, week after week, Mama Kobiko was moving from house to house like a bee looking for flowers. She would wake up at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. And plan her route for the day. Today, I will visit Chinedu's house at 6 a.m., then Ogechi's compound at 7 a.m., then the village square at 8 a.m., then the stream at 9 a.m., then the market at 10 a.m., then back to Mama Ifeoma's house at 11 a.m., then lunch, then continue again at 2 p.m. This woman had a timetable, a gossip timetable. She told Chinedu's wife that Chinedu was planning to sell their land and run away to Lagos with a Lagos big girl. Not true. Chinedu had never even been to Lagos before. The man was afraid of going to the next village, talk less of Vegas. But the wife believed it, and that night she poured kerosene around their house and said she would burn everything before Chinedu would sell it. She told Ogechi's husband that Ogechi was hiding money, plenty money, to give to her secret lover. She said Ogechi had opened a secret bank account and was saving money to run away. Not true. Ogechi didn't even know how to open a bank account. The woman still kept her money in a box under her bed. But the husband believed it, and that night he scattered the whole house looking for hidden money. He opened the ceiling, he dug the floor, he scattered the mattress. The house looked like kidnappers had visited it.
She told the village teacher, Master Johnson, that the chief was planning to close down the school because he said Master Johnson was teaching the children nonsense. Not true. The chief loved Master Johnson like his own son, but Master Johnson believed it, and the next day he went to confront the chief. The chief was so surprised he choked on his kola nut. She told the chief that Master Johnson was planning to run away with the school fees that the parents had paid. Not true. Master Johnson was the most honest teacher in the whole village. But the chief believed it, and he called an emergency meeting to investigate Master Johnson. Poor man had to open all his bags and pockets to prove he wasn't a thief. She told Mama Ifeoma that her co-wife was using juju, strong juju from a herbalist in Benin, to make her husband hate her. She said the co-wife buried something under Mama Ifeoma's doorstep. Not true. The co-wife didn't even know what juju looked like, but Mama Ifeoma believed it, and she spent her whole month's earnings to buy counter juju from another herbalist. That night, she was dancing round her compound at midnight with a broom, naked, chanting, "Return to sender, return to sender." The whole village couldn't sleep because of her noise.
She told Brother Emeka that his business partner was cheating him, taking money from the business to build a mansion in the village. Not true. The man was honest like Jonah, but Brother Emeka believed it. And the next day, the two friends fought in the market. They tore each other's clothes. They rolled on the ground like wrestlers. The market women were cheering, "Fight, fight, fight," like it was a boxing match. Every single day, Mama Kobiko was planting seeds of trouble, and those seeds were growing into big trees of chaos. Within 3 months, just 3 months, the village of Amakom had turned from a peaceful place into a war zone, a proper battlefield. Couples who had been married for 30 years were now sleeping in separate rooms. Some were even sleeping in separate houses. Best friends who grew up together, who knew each other's secrets, who shared everything, were now enemies. They would see each other on the road and turn their faces away. Brothers who came from the same mother, who sucked the same breast, were not talking to each other. Sisters were fighting over imaginary offenses. The village square that used to be full of laughter and gisting and people playing drafts was now full of angry people arguing and shouting and threatening each other. The market that used to be busy with buying and selling was now almost empty because everyone was too angry to trade. If you tried to buy from someone, they would say, "I don't sell to gossips and their family members." Even the children were fighting in school. The teacher would ask, 2 plus 2. And instead of answering, the children would start arguing. "My mother said your father is a thief." "Well, my mother said your mother is a witch."
The village chief, Ichie Obiora, good man, wise man, been settling disputes for 20 years, couldn't handle it anymore. Every single day, from morning till night, people were coming to his compound with complaints. "Iche, my neighbor says I stole his goat. Iche, my wife says I'm cheating, but I'm not. Iche, my husband says I'm a witch, but I don't even know how to do juju. Iche, my brother wants to poison me. Iche, my co-wife buried something under my doorstep. Iche, my business partner is a thief. Iche, my son's wife wants to kill me." The complaints were so many that Ichie Obiora stopped writing them down. He just sat there looking confused, like a chicken in the rain. The poor man started losing weight. His cheeks became hollow. His eyes became red like someone who hadn't slept in weeks, which was true because he hadn't. His wife said, "Ichie, you need to rest." But how could he rest when the whole village was burning? His hair turned completely white, all of it in just 2 months. People who saw him would say, "Ah, Ichie Obiora, you've aged 20 years in 2 months." And he would just sigh and say, "It's this village that wants to kill me." And
All this time, Mama Kobiko was jumping up and down with joy. She was dancing, she was singing. This is wonderful, this is beautiful, so much drama, so much to talk about. I am the queen of information. I know everything about everybody. I am powerful. Her chest was swelling with pride like a balloon. Her husband, Papa Kobiko, was begging her every day, every night, Mama Kobiko, please, in the name of God and all the angels in heaven, stay at home, rest your legs, close your mouth, give your ears a break. This village is collapsing because of you. People are suffering, marriages are breaking, friendships are ending, even the chief is dying.
But Mama Kobiko would just wave him away like an annoying fly and say, Papa Kobiko, you don't understand anything. You're just a man. You don't know how villages work. Someone has to know what's happening. If I don't keep track of things, who will? What if someone is really doing something bad and nobody knows? What if there's a real thief or a real witch or a real criminal? I am protecting this village with my vigilance. Protecting care. The woman was destroying the village and calling it protection. That's like setting a house on fire and calling it cooking. Then one day, one terrible, unforgettable day, something happened that shocked the whole village to its foundation. Ichi Obiora collapsed. Just like that. He was sitting in his veranda trying to settle another dispute between two women who were fighting over who swept the village square last, when suddenly he grabbed his chest and fell down. Bagang. People rushed to him. Ichie, wake up! They carried him to the village herbalist, Papa Osita, who checked him and said, this man is not sick, oh. This is pure stress. This village is killing him with wahala. His heart cannot take it anymore. If this continues, he will die.
You think that would make Mama Kobiko stop? You think she would feel sorry? You don't know Mama Kobiko. When she heard the news, her eyes lit up like Christmas lights. Fresh gist, hot gist, premium gist. She immediately started running around. Yes, running, telling people, the chief has collapsed. The chief is dying. And you know what I heard? I heard it was his wife that poisoned him. Yes, so Lolo Biora, that quiet, gentle woman, she's been putting small poison in his food for months. Why? Because she found out he's planning to marry a second wife, a young girl from the city with university degree and everything. Lolo Biora couldn't stand it. So she decided to eliminate him first. That's why he collapsed. It's poison, not stress. My people, that rumor spread faster than bushfire in Hamatan. Within 1 hour, the whole village had heard it, and it grew bigger with each telling. By afternoon, people were saying Lolo Biora had bought the poison from a herbalist in Cameroon. Cameroon, special poison that kills slowly so nobody will suspect. Some said she had been planning it for 5 years. Others said she was working with a secret cult. One person even said they saw her dancing naked at midnight with a black cat.
When Lolo Biora heard this rumor, the poor woman fainted, just scattered on the floor like a bag of rice. When they revived her, she started crying and screaming, I didn't poison anybody. I love my husband. We've been married for 35 years. We have 6 children together. How can I kill him? Who is spreading this wicked lie? But nobody believed her. People were looking at her like she was a murderer. Women were moving away from her. Men were shaking their heads. Children were pointing at her and saying, that's the poisoned woman. The whole village gathered at the chief's compound that evening. Everybody, young, old, men, women, even the goats came to see the drama. People were shouting. Some were crying. Some were threatening to deal with Lolo Biora. Some were saying, let's take her to the shrine. Let her swear. If she's innocent, nothing will happen. If she's guilty, the gods will strike her. The village was going mad. Complete madness. And that's when the village herbalist, Papa Osita, wise old man with white beard down to his chest, stood up, raised his staff, and said something that made everywhere silent like a graveyard. People of Amaokun, our village is under a curse. There is a demon among us. This demon has the face of a human being, the body of a human being, but inside it has the heart of a destroyer. This demon walks among us every day. It enters our compounds, it listens to our conversations, and then it spreads poison with its mouth. Every trouble in this village, every quarrel, every fight, every broken marriage, every ended friendship, it all comes from this demon. Until we find this demon and cast it out, our village will never know peace. We will all die of stress and heartbreak.
Ah, you should have seen the people's faces. Everyone started looking at each other with suspicion. Is it you? Is it me? Who is this demon? Which human being is actually a demon? People were whispering and pointing. Some were even sniffing each other to see if they could smell demon. The village had completely lost its mind. Now, we reach the sweetest part of the story. That evening, as the sun was going down and painting the sky red like blood, Mama Kobiko was still on her rounds. After all that drama at the chief's compound, after seeing the whole village in chaos, you think she would rest? Never! She said to herself, I must find out who this demon is that Papa Osita is talking about. This is the biggest gist of the century. I cannot miss it. I must be the first to know. Her eyes were shining with excitement like a child going to a birthday party. She was passing by Papa Osita's compound when she heard voices coming from inside his house. Her ears started tingling like she received an electric shock. Aha! The herbalist is talking about the demon. He must be revealing who it is. I must hear this. This is premium, exclusive, VIP gist. She crept closer to the compound, her heart beating fast with excitement. But the voices were coming from deep inside the house, not near the window. How will I hear properly? She wondered, scratching her head like a confused monkey.
Then she remembered something. Papa Osita's compound had an old abandoned well at the back. Very old well. The kind that your grandfather's grandfather dug before independence. It had been covered with wooden planks many years ago because it was too deep and dangerous. There were even warning signs around it. Big signs with red letters saying, danger, old well, do not go near, keep away. But Mama Kobiko's eyes were focused on one thing, the window. She thought to herself, if I can climb onto those wooden planks covering the well, I can reach the window and hear everything Papa Osita is saying. You see how gossip can make someone foolish? The night was getting darker and darker. Everywhere was becoming black like coal tar. Mama Kobiko couldn't even see her own hand properly. But did that stop her? No. She said, fresh gist is waiting for me. I cannot let small darkness stop me. I've been gossiping for 40 years. I've sneaked around in worse conditions than this. She tiptoed to the back of Papa Osita's compound, her gossip slippers making no sound. She reached the old well and saw the wooden planks covering it. She didn't see the warning signs because it was too dark, or maybe she saw them but ignored them because gist was calling her. Inside the house, Papa Osita was talking to his wife. He was saying, my wife, this demon that is troubling our village, I'm very close to finding out who it is. I've been investigating, watching, listening. Soon I will expose this demon and peace will return to Amakom. Mama Kobiko, standing outside, pressed her ear against the wall, straining to hear more. Yes, yes, tell me, who is it? Give me the name. I must be the first to know. She was so desperate to hear that she decided to climb onto the wooden planks to get closer to the window. She stepped on the edge of the planks carefully. So far so good, she whispered to herself. She took another step. The wood creaked a little, but held. Almost there, she said excitedly, stretching her neck toward the window like a giraffe trying to eat leaves from a tall tree. Inside, Papa Osita continued, this demon has been moving from house to house, causing confusion. The demon's name is... Mama Kobiko leaned forward eagerly, putting more weight on the rotting planks. Yes, yes, say the name. I'm listening. And then, crack, 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 crack. The old wood couldn't hold her weight anymore. It started breaking like dry biscuits, like someone stepping on potato chips.
Yay! Mama Kobiko screamed. Her arms were flailing in the air like a bird trying to fly. Her wrapper was flying up. Her legs were kicking. She looked like a cartoon character running in the air. Splash! Back down. Brah! She hit the water at the bottom of the well, and it wasn't just water, it was dirty, smelly, green water with algae and frogs and maybe even a snake or two. Mama Kobiko was screaming like someone being murdered. Help! Help me! I'm dying! There are monsters down here! There are crocodiles! There are mermaids! Help me! Crocodiles in a village well, this woman. Even in danger, she was exaggerating. Papa Osita and his wife heard the scream and the huge splash. They grabbed their lamp and rushed outside. Other neighbors heard it too. What was that sound? Did someone fall? It came from Papa Osita's compound. It sounded like a cow falling from the sky. Everyone started running toward the compound with torches, lanterns, phones with flashlights. When they reached the well and pointed their lights down, they saw something that made some people scream. Some people laugh. Some people just stand there with their mouths open like baskets. There in the dirty water was Mama Kobiko. Her head tie was gone, completely disappeared. Her hair was standing up like angry porcupine. Her wrapper had come off and was floating around her like a parachute. Her blouse was torn. Green algae was covering her face like makeup. A big frog was sitting on her head like a hat. Another frog was on her shoulder like a parrot. Small fish were swimming around her. She looked like the creature from the Black Lagoon. She looked like a mermaid that went to the wrong beauty salon. She looked like something from a nightmare. "It's Mama Kobiko!" someone shouted. "What is she doing in the well?" Another person screamed. "At this time of night," someone else added. "Help me! Stop asking questions and help me!" Mama Kobiko cried from the well, spitting out dirty water. "I'm drowning here. There are creatures attacking me." The frog on her head croaked loudly as if to say, "I'm not a creature. I'm a respectable frog." By now, the whole village had gathered. Papa Kobiko came running, his wrapper almost falling off. My wife is in the well. How did she fall in the well? What was she doing here at night?" Other people were arriving. Kobiko and Adana came. Baba Nkechi and Mama Nkechi came. Chinedu and his wife came. Ogechi and her husband came. Master Johnson came. Brother Emeka came. Mama Efeoma came. Even Iche Obiora was carried there on a mat. Sick man, but he had to come and see what was happening. The whole population of Amakom was there. Even people from the neighboring village heard the commotion and came to watch. It was like a festival. They brought ropes and a basket, one of those big baskets for carrying yams. Papa Osita directed the operation. 6 strong men hauled the rope. We're going to lower the basket. Mama Kobiko, get inside the basket when it reaches you. They lowered the basket slowly. Mama Kobiko grabbed it like someone holding on to life itself. "Pull me up, quick, before the water spirits take me." Water spirits in a luage well. 6 men started pulling. They were pulling and sweating and grunting. "Heave, heave, heave." One man said, "What did this woman eat? She is heavy, oh." Another said, "It's not her weight. It's all the water she has swallowed." Slowly, they pulled her up. When she finally reached the top and they lifted her out, if you had seen her, she was dripping with green slime. Water was pouring from her clothes like a waterfall. The frog on her head refused to jump off. It seemed to be enjoying the ride. Another frog was still on her shoulder, croaking like it was singing her theme song. Small fish were stuck in her hair. Algae was hanging from her ears like earrings. She smelled like a fish market, mixed with a swamp, mixed with a garbage dump. People were covering their noses. Some were moving back. Dogs were running away. Even the goats were saying, "Hey, this one is too much."
Mama Kobiko collapsed on the ground, coughing and spitting out dirty water. The frog on her head finally jumped off and hopped away, probably going to tell other frogs about the crazy woman it had just met. Everyone was standing around her in a big circle, just staring. The silence was thick like fufu. You could hear crickets, you could hear mosquitoes. Even the wind had stopped blowing to listen. Then, Papa Osita stepped forward, raised his staff high, pointed it at Mama Kobiko lying there like a wet rag, and shouted in a voice that made even the trees shake. There is the demon I was talking about. There is the curse of Amakom village. Everyone gasped. Some people jumped back. Some people fell down in shock. The demon? They all screamed together. Yes, Papa Osita continued, his voice echoing in the night. Mama Kobiko, what were you doing at my well at this time of night? Why were you sneaking around my compound in darkness? Were you trying to spy on me? Were you trying to hear my private conversation? Mama Kobiko opened her mouth to answer, but only dirty water came out. Bleh! She coughed and coughed, looking like a fish trying to breathe on land. But Papa Osita's wife stepped forward and said, Ichie Obiora, everyone, I know what this woman was doing. For the past 3 months, I've been seeing shadows around our compound at night. I thought it was a ghost, but it was her. This woman has been spying on every house in this village. She listens to private conversations and then spreads wicked, terrible lies. Is this true? Ichie Obiora asked from his mat, his voice weak but angry. Mama Kobiko, is this true? Mama Kobiko tried to speak. I thought I heard, but the words couldn't come out properly. She was shivering, shaking, covered in slime, with algae dripping from her nose.
Then, oh my people, this is where it got very hot. One by one, people started stepping forward to speak. Adana came forward first, tears in her eyes. This woman nearly destroyed my marriage. She told the whole village I wanted to poison her. I never said that. I just wanted one day of peace. Because of her lies, my husband and I fought for the first time. I cried for 3 days. 3 days! Because of her wicked mouth. Mama Nkechi stepped forward, her voice shaking with anger. This woman destroyed my home. She told lies about my husband. She said he was cheating with 5 women. 5 women, oh! My husband is a good man. Because of her lies, I poured away his food. I threw out his things. I made him sleep under a tree with mosquitoes and ants. And for what? For lies. All lies. Baba Nkechi was standing there nodding sadly, scratching the mosquito bites on his arms. Chinedu's wife stepped forward. She said my husband wanted to sell our land and run to Lagos. My husband has never even been to Lagos. He's afraid of going to the next village. Because of her lies, I almost burned our house. I poured kerosene everywhere. If not for my neighbors who stopped me, I would have burned everything. Ogechi's husband stepped forward. She said my wife was hiding money for a secret lover. I scattered our whole house looking for this money. I opened the ceiling. I dug the floor. I destroyed our mattress. Our house looked like armed robbers had visited. And all for lies. My wife doesn't even know how to open a bank account.
Master Johnson stepped forward. She said the chief wanted to close my school. She said I was teaching nonsense. Because of her lies, I confronted Ichie Obiora and he nearly died from shock. I had to open all my bags to prove I wasn't stealing school fees. I've been teaching in this village for 15 years with honest heart, and this woman destroyed my reputation in one day. Brother Emeka stepped forward. She said my business partner was cheating me. We've been friends since we were children. We've shared everything.
Because of her lies, we fought in the market like animals. We tore each other's clothes. We rolled on the ground. People were laughing at us. Our friendship of 30 years was nearly destroyed because of her wicked tongue. Mama Ifeoma stepped forward. She said my co-wife was using juju on me. I spent all my money on counter juju. I was dancing naked at midnight with a broom. The whole village couldn't sleep because of my noise. And now my co-wife is not talking to me. We were friends before, but now she thinks I'm crazy. Person after person, story after story, the confessions went on and on. Some people were crying as they spoke, some were shaking with anger, some were just tired. The list was so long that the moon moved from one side of the sky to the other side. Mama Kubiko just sat there on the ground, getting smaller and smaller, like a balloon losing air. The frog on her shoulder had long ago abandoned her. Even the frogs didn't want to be associated with her anymore. When everyone had finished speaking, Ichie Obiora raised his hand for silence. Even though he was lying on a mat, even though he was sick, his voice was still strong with authority. Mama Kobiko, he said slowly, you have destroyed our village. You have turned Amakom from a peaceful place into a war zone. You have broken marriages, ended friendships, destroyed trust. You have turned husband against wife, friend against friend, neighbor against neighbor. You have made me collapse from stress. You nearly killed me. What do you have to say for yourself? Mama Kobiko looked up at all the angry faces staring at her. For the first time in her 40 years of gossiping, she had no words. Her mouth, that famous mouth that was always moving, always talking, always spreading rumors, was finally closed. She tried to speak, but all that came out was a sob. Then another sob. Then tears started flowing like the dirty water from the well. She was crying, real crying this time, not the fake Nollywood tears. I'm sorry, she finally whispered, her voice broken. I didn't mean, I liked knowing things. I liked being the first to know. I liked being important. I liked when people would gather around me to hear my stories. I felt powerful. I felt special. But I didn't think. I didn't think about the damage. I didn't think about the pain. I only thought about myself, about my own enjoyment. I am the demon Papa Osita was talking about. I am the curse of this village. I destroyed everything. And she buried her face in her hands and cried like a child who had been caught stealing. But it wasn't funny anymore. Even some of the angry people started feeling small pity for her.
Ichie Obiora was quiet for a long moment. Everyone was waiting to hear what punishment he would give. Then he spoke, his voice like thunder even though he was sick. Mama Kobiko, from this day, you are banned from leaving your compound for 6 full months. You will not go to the market. You will not go to the stream. You will not go to the square. You will not visit anyone. Your husband will do all the shopping. Your children will fetch all the water. You will stay inside your compound and learn what it means to mind your own business. And that is not all, he continued. Tomorrow morning, you will begin what I call the apology walk. You will visit every single house in this village, every single house, with Papa Osita as your witness. You will knock on their door. You will confess the lies you told about them. You will tell them the truth, and you will beg for their forgiveness on your knees. Yes, on your knees. This will take many weeks, maybe many months, but you will do it. You will not miss one house. And finally, Ichie Obiora said, pointing his staff at the well, that well will remain exactly as it is. We will not repair it. We will not cover it properly. We will leave it as a monument, as a reminder, and we will put a sign there, a big sign that says the gossip well where Mama Kobiko fell because her mouth was bigger than her brain.
Every person who passes that well, every child, every adult, every stranger who visits our village will see it and remember what happens to people who cannot mind their own business. The crowd murmured in agreement. Yes, good judgment. Let her suffer. Let her learn. Mama Kobiko just nodded, unable to speak, still dripping with dirty water and shame. So that's how it happened though. For 6 long months, Mama Kobiko stayed in her compound. My people, the first few weeks were terrible for her. Her legs were twitching like someone with electric shock. She would wake up in the morning and automatically start walking to the door, then remember she was banned and have to turn back. She would hear voices from a neighbor's compound and her ears would start tingling. Her body would lean toward the sound like a plant leaning towards sunlight, but she couldn't go. Papa Kobiko had to practically tie her down.
But slowly, something strange started happening. Mama Kobiko started noticing things she had never noticed before. She noticed that her husband liked his food cooked a certain way. Not too salty, not too spicy, just right. She noticed that her children had dreams and fears and hopes that she never knew about because she was always running around outside. She noticed that staying in one place could actually be peaceful. She started cooking better food. She started keeping her house cleaner. She even started a small garden with vegetables. Mama Kobiko, the gossip queen, was now planting tomatoes. And every day, with Papa Osita walking beside her as witness, she would visit one house for her apology walk. And every day, she would kneel down, yes, kneel down and confess her lies and speak the truth. Some people forgave her quickly, some took longer, some made her kneel for a full hour before they would listen. But slowly, the village started healing. Couples who had been fighting started talking again. Friends who had become enemies started greeting each other. The market became busy again. Laughter returned to the village square. Children stopped fighting in school. The dogs stopped barking so much. Even the goats seemed happier. And Ichi Obiora, my people, that man recovered completely. All the stress disappeared like magic. His cheeks filled out again. His hair stopped being white and started getting some black back. He gained weight. He started smiling again. Within 2 months, he was walking around the village healthy and strong, settling disputes with wisdom and patience. The village herbalist said it was a miracle, but we all knew the truth. The demon had been caught and peace had returned.
When the 6 months ended, 6 full months, so something amazing happened. Mama Kobiko was allowed to leave her compound, but she didn't want to. She had become so used to staying in one place, so used to minding her own business, so used to the peace and quiet that the thought of running around from house to house made her tired just thinking about it. Now, if you visit Amakon village today, you will see Mama Kobiko sitting peacefully in her compound, tending her garden, cooking for her family and minding her own business. If someone comes to tell her gossip, she will raise her hand like a police officer stopping traffic and say, "Stop! I don't want to hear it. Go and throw your gossip into the well." And everyone will laugh and remember. Now, let me stop talking before I too become like Mama Kobiko. Thank you for listening to my story. If you enjoyed it, share it with others. But please, don't add any gossip to it too. Just tell it exactly as I told you. And if anyone asks where you heard this story, tell them you heard it from the best storyteller in the land. But don't add any extra details about me, oh. I don't want to end up in a well too.